All right, guys, what's up? What's up, everybody? Gonna be a pretty short and sweet video today. We're gonna go over today's trades. We only had to make two trades today. We were 2 for 2, 500 and I think $27 positive on the day. Let's take a look at it. So 528 actually. So these were our two trades for the day. As I said, this was it. We made two trades. Both of them were winners for a total of 528. I think total invested for this amount. Let me go into our filled orders here. How much total we put in? 800 shares at about $13. So about $10,000 on this one. And then 600 shares at about $20, so a little over $12,000 on this one. So total of about 24,000, 23,000-ish dollars on two trades. A little more than I plan on starting out on. Eventually, I will start using that much capital if I'm seeing these consistent gains. But I plan on starting only at about 10,000 on my account. So realistically, I would probably do about half of these amounts on my trades. But neither here nor there. The point of this video and the point of these trades is to see, are we staying positive? And right now, we are seeing positive. We are winning our trades. That is the whole point of the back test right now. And it's working out really well. These were really good wins. They did exactly what I was hoping for. So let's get into these trades real quick, and I will show you the thought process on why I got into these trades, similar to why I've gotten into others in the past, but we'll continue to go over them just so y'all can continue to see more examples. So let's get into it. First one we will go over is Asai. Got in at 13.53, so let's pull up Asai. And I pretty much got in right at the beginning of market. So this was, again, another one that I had pulled up on my watch list from last night. I did my research last night and was already aware of what I wanted to be looking for coming into this. I didn't even look pre-market to see, well, I lied. I did look in pre-market to see if it was approaching my area. I did sort through those, but I didn't run through another scanner or anything like that. I was just seeing if it was approaching the area that I had drawn out here. So we'll see. I already had this drawn out from the night before. I saw that this was a really strong area, a lot of support in this general area, multiple bounces. You know, we got a bounce off of this here. We see it come up. Then we got the bounce here, up. We come back down, bounce up, come back down, bounce up, come back down, bounce up, come back down. And we see there's really strong support in this area. We never, as it continues to fall down to this area, we see it continue to bounce up, bounce up, bounce up, continues to go up. So we do see a little bit of a break in here. That happened during our pre-market, and this was actually right around the time that I got in. As this was starting to close, my goal was to get in to really see that it was probably going to stop as a hammer. I probably, and I'll be completely honest on this, I was really confident in this. I ended up getting into this trade before I even was 100% sure it was going to close out a hammer. I was just really confident with the amount of touches that we had in this general area. I realistically probably should have waited until we got closer to the end of that hour to really confirm, and I would have got in somewhere around the same price that I got into. I got in at 13.53, so I might have actually even got in slightly lower, so I could have had a little bit better profit there if I'd been a little more patient. I was a little worried something might happen where I might have someone come into my office and I wouldn't be able to make my trade. So I was fairly confident in this one. The risk was really small. I got in at 13.50. I was really only risking about 20 cents. I set my stop loss down at 13.30. So I was only risking about 20 cents a share here, and I knew that there was good potential gain here, seeing these previous bounces. So yeah, I felt pretty confident that the risk reward was really here. So that was why we ended up getting into this one. I didn't even look at trend line on this. This was strictly going off previous support levels. We can look at it and say maybe we can draw a trend line out and say we broke trend here, and it plays out, and so a little bit of a double confirmation here. I'll be honest, I didn't even draw a trend line out on this one, so I'm not going to say that was the motivating factor on this one. Mine was strictly because I had such a consistency at this general area of it bouncing back up. It was a very strong support area over a pretty good amount of time here. Every 2 days or so we saw it bounce back up from this support area, so I was very confident. Seeing from the day before that it really refused to go below this level, I was again pretty confident. And then seeing this one drop down and really reject back up. A lot of times what you see, sometimes you have a really predictable support level like this, and then every once in a while you get it where it drops slightly below or about 10 cents below or somewhere around there, where it basically stops people out. Because most people set, if they get in somewhere around this area, they set their stop loss at these previous lows here. And so like if they set their stop loss down at like 13.45 or somewhere in this general area, then they get stopped out by this right here. As soon as everyone gets stopped out and they buy their shares back, it starts driving it back up. And that's when you start seeing the liquidity and the motion back up after this big drop. But just something I've kind of noticed. Again, I probably should have been a little more patient on this one. I would have got in at a slightly better price. It's a little riskier getting in as early as I did, but we see that it did end up working out. And again, I was fairly confident that the risk-reward ratio was there, even before I actually had a solid indicator that this was going to end in a hammer. But that was the reasoning for getting into this one. Obviously, pretty straightforward on why we got into this one. Really not much else to talk about there on that one. So let's go into our next. UCO, I believe. Yep, UCO. Got in at 22.20. Again, relatively early. As pretty much as soon as market opened, within like the first 5-10 minutes, we were into that one. So let's pull up UCO, and we'll go over the reasoning on getting into this one. So a couple things I was looking at as I was getting into this one. So I did, and you don't see it on this, but I did somewhat look at a trend line here, and I thought about drawing it out from here. I didn't really like that one, so I did a redraw at about like this. And we were, by the time I got in, we were pretty much already getting to that trend line break area. Seeing the support levels that we had in previous history in this general area, this is where I was looking to try to get in. So I saw these bounces from here, bounces here, bounce again, relatively close in this area. Yes, we saw a big drop down, but we saw it pull right back up. So this was the general area I was trying to get in. I wanted to get in as low as possible. By the time I saw this start to reject from this area, we see it reject up. I was looking in the pre-market on this. I saw it reject up here, or reject trying to pull down, reject trying to pull down, reject trying to pull down. Really seeing quite a bit of strong pullback up. And so then when I started seeing this candlestick really shoot up, I decided I was pretty confident in going ahead and getting into this one. Again, approaching that trend line area as well. Depending on how I drew my trend line out, it was above one, not quite above the other by the time I got in, but it was close enough that I was pretty comfortable with the trade. And again, I felt like the risk-reward ratio was there for the most part. A little bit not as favorable because my initial take profit was around this 22.50 area. I went ahead and got out because, like I said in the video previously, I like to get out at those 50 marks and then those whole dollar marks. I like to try to get out at those areas or slightly before those areas in a lot of cases, especially full dollar marks. 50 marks, I usually will go ahead and just try to hit 50. The full dollar marks, I try to get out about 98 cents because a lot of times, like I said, a lot of people everyone has this deal where a lot of people try to get out at full dollar. So a lot of times you'll see when you hit these full dollar marks, they do tend to sometimes have really big drops after that because a huge sell-off happens at that specific level. So yeah, this one we could have actually ridden up more than we did. Me choosing to be a little more conservative, not trying to be greedy and take my profits. I sold half my shares out at $22.50, and then I rode the rest up to $22.98 was where I got out on the remainder. We'll see. Actually, I was trying to get up to $22.98, and then I set my stop loss at $22.65 because I was raising my stop loss as I went, especially after my first trade of the day went through, and that one was a 372. Actually, Yuko was the one we got out of first. Let me double check my prices here. Let's see. Okay, SI 1380, 1365. That's right. Yuko, we did actually get out at 23. So I set to get out at 23.98. We actually did end up selling at 23. So yeah, we got all the way up, and we'll see if we look back at it. I could have ridden it more, but again, I'm not trying to be too greedy, and we'll see. Like, this wouldn't have been a bad area to set to try to get out because we see this was a previous resistance point. But I like to be a little more conservative because I don't want to try to really risk. Am I going to get out at that point? Am I not? I like to be a little more conservative, lock in my profits. I find that my win percentage stays way more consistent when I'm trying to do that. So that was the deal. Really worked out how we wanted it to. We got into our general area. We saw approaching, crossing that trend line area. Didn't really wait for it, I'll be honest. But again, I was really just looking at the previous support levels and then looking at, again, this pullback here, pullback here, pullback here. Really strong support in this general area. So I was pretty confident once we got this kind of indecisive one, that once it really started shooting up here, I was feeling pretty confident to go ahead and hop into that one. So we went ahead and did it, paid off. Overall, pretty decent trade, and was our most profitable trade of the day. It was this was the one that was worth like $372, I believe. Yeah, $372 on that trade. So that one worked out really well. But yeah, guys, that was it for our trades today. I'm probably going to post another video going over my market scans, the parameters that I set when I'm looking for specific things, as far as what I'm going to be putting on my watch list. So I'll probably do a little bit. I'll do a video on that tonight. Probably won't do it live. I'll record it, post it later. But yeah, that'll walk you through how I go about deciding what's going to go on my watch list. As far as taking a look at them, getting them on my scanner, then once I get them on my scanner, going in and viewing them, and that's when I decide, after I've got them on my scanner and I go in and view and I look for potential plays, that's when I decide if I see a trend that I like or see a support level where I think it's going to come in play for that next day. That's when I'll decide to add it to the watch list. And if I see potential plays possibly coming up in the future, I'll kind of make little side notes of them just so I can remember, hey, you need to set, or I'll set alerts when it's to a certain area. So that way it may not be on my watch list, but I will get an alert possibly at a later date in case I forget. It doesn't come up on my scanner, something along those lines. So just something that I like to do. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. That was our trades. Like I said, another good day. We're on a win streak right now. I mean, I think we've won. We've only lost one trade in the last 4 days, so it's been going really good. So we're going to hope to continue it. If we can continue it, then hopefully, sooner than later, we'll be into the live trading. And I will say that my plan is to take a full week off work when I start doing my live trading. So I'll probably live stream that when I do it. But yeah, we'll see. Again, we're going to do a little more back testing. Feel pretty comfortable in our strategy that it's working, that our scans are picking up the stocks that we should be looking at. And if they are, and we're continuing to see this high of a win percentage, like I said, one loss in the last 4 days, a very, very good win percentage. At this point, over the last 5 days, we're at over 85% on our win percent. So great news. So we're going to see if we can keep it up. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it. If you haven't already, drop a like, hit the subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Again, I'm going to be doing this every single day. All my trades, I'll be doing post videos on them to go over how they went, wins, losses, and again, why we decided to get into them. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me. Appreciate it.